Hi, with me today is Christine Rimmer. She's a fabulous romance writer. She's written numerous books, but it sounds much more impressive when you hear her say. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Kelly. It's great to be here.
We're glad that you came. And how many books have you written?
I've published about 75, and then there are some that are kind of in the pipeline, so we're probably at 80.
How exciting.
It's a great job.
It is a great job, and you've written, a lot of these titles are under Harlequin romance?
Harlequin, Silhouette. That's been my publisher ever since I've been writing romance for quite a while.
I'm sure that you have quite a following, though, because I worked in a bookstore at one point, and when those gals are looking for their romances, their Harlequin romances, they want them.
Romance readers are the most loyal in the world, and once they find you as an author and like your work and like your voice and want to spend time with you, they will go looking for every book you write. So it's been a great job for me. I raised my children as a romance author and was able to stay home. I probably wasn't as attentive as I should have been. It was
I'll hem those
I'm busy.
pants
I'm
up
busy.
for you. Hold on,
but it was nice to be at home. Yeah.
How wonderful! And your background was actually in drama.
Yes, in my family, they all thought I was going to be a famous actress, and so did I.
I would have thought so.
And I love to read, though, and I always wrote stories, and my grandmother would always say, you know, someday you're going to be a writer, and I would just say, I'm an actress, what are you talking about? But
in a very dramatic way.
Yes, in a very dramatic way. And then over time, I started trying to write plays. You know, I kind of just eased into it. I've always loved romance, and in the 80s, we had a romance boom. And I decided, I got a book, Writing Romance Fiction for Love and Money. Followed it step by step, and I did a lot of research. I read about 300 books with little file folders, cross-referencing. It was great work. I loved it. And then I wrote my first book.
And it was called?
It was called The Spell of the Sierras when I wrote it. I actually sold it, and it was retitled The Road Home and released as a Harlequin Temptation.
Oh.
Back a while ago.
Just a few years ago. Well, this current novel is called Valentine Bride.
This is part of my Bravo series, and that's the series about the Bravo family. I had been writing a series about the Jones family, and I had 10 books, and I thought, that's too many. I'm going to write one with just 3 and never write any more. Well, the readers love them, and I think I'm up to 31 or 32 now. And this story I had a lot of fun with because the heroine is from a war-torn Balkan country. I made up the country. But I had a lot of fun researching the whole Balkan way of life and what they've been through politically. Mm-hmm. And then I also, because she wants to stay in the country and she has asylum, which is revoked in the book, did a lot of study about immigration and what immigrants go through to get into the country, to stay in the country. You know, I have a lot of sympathy. Not everybody can live here. We don't have the room, but it is an ongoing battle for people to have the ideal of being an American.
Well, it certainly is, and what a departure from your other novels.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm becoming the issue queen lately. I think it's so many books. You have to stay fresh. It's still a green card story. It's still what we would call a marriage of convenience, which means they aren't in love. They marry for a reason for her to stay in the country. Mm-hmm. And so it still has the elements that would be identified with my type of stories.
Right.
But then I've added other things and maybe a little more gritty realism. And some of the readers are loving it. I'm sure for some people they'd prefer the pure fantasy. But I'm still going to write those too, so
that's
next
right.
time.
They're still in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you had to do a bit more research for this one then, possibly than some of the others.
It seems like I always do quite a bit of research. This one, it was about immigration, quite a bit about immigration, and then creating my Balkan country. Another book, the next book that comes out in March is called A Bride for Jericho Bravo. Ah. And he's an ex-con, heavily tattooed, and he builds choppers, motorcycles.
Oh, right.
And I've always had a fascination for motorcycle heroes, and motorcycles. So I did a lot of more research on that to describe how a person would build a bike from scratch, the art in it, the skills you have to have. So Just about every book has quite a bit, surprisingly.
It just sounds like you've branched out in a lot of different areas, though, that
Yeah, I
maybe
think
weren't
so.
your comfort zone.
Well, also, you know, when I started out, I wanted to write stories that I would love that readers might love. So you need to write a book that a lot of people would want to read. So I picked themes that I thought would be universal. And I still do that. But then, as I said, I kind of try to learn something myself every time.
Well, it's a good way to travel and never leave the farm.
Exactly. I would love to travel more, but I think I love writing my books even more than that. And occasionally I will go to a location and, you know, get firsthand tactile being there information about that place. But most of the time I'm on a schedule where I need to figure out other ways to do the work.
So you're very disciplined. Do you have set hours of your day that you write?
It's a regular job, except some people don't love their jobs. I love my job, you know, but I'm thrilled. I'm honored to be able to write 5 days a week, to have my office, go in there in my sweats. Don't have to wear pantyhose.
Nope, or makeup.
Or makeup, right. And work all day long. And it's been a great job, and I'm not bored with it. So,
well, I'll bet you have several hundred books left in you. So
I sure do.
you have a little card file where you've got them kind
Actually, I have a plot group. We meet in Las Vegas twice a year. There are 5 of us, and we bring 2 new stories to each one and brainstorm them. So we each get 2 stories twice a year.
What wonderful support.
Oh, it's wonderful. And it keeps you going. You keep thinking way ahead. You know, and in fact, this branch of the Bravo family there were 9 siblings, and then a 10th that is a half-sibling. So I've done the parents, the whole arc of the whole family, and it's been fun to do something so long range, but yet make each story complete to where you could just pick it up and read it by itself. Enjoy that.
Are you from here? Are you from Oklahoma?
Well, I feel like I am. I've been here about 12 years.
Oh, good.
Going on 13, and born originally in California and raised there. And then my husband was from Tulsa, and we started looking around and decided to move to Norman when our children were a little younger.
Well, I
It's
hope
been
that
great.
you'll stay
Yes.
and visit us again and again.
Yes.
This is Christine Rimmer.
Rimmer.
Excuse me. Christine with a C, Rimmer with an R-I. And you can find her books at your local bookstore or at your favorite library.